Welcome to the Portress podcast for Wednesday, the 12th of April, 2017. We have a big show in line for you guys tonight. What a treat. Look, obviously we're going to just be focusing on the biggest thing of the preview of the big game, the big win that we're going to have in Canberra on the weekend against the Giants. But we do have to talk about something that happened on the weekend called a Showdown 42. And with me tonight, we have, starting with Craig. Hi, Craig. How are you?
Tired. How you going?
Hey, mate. Well, what a show. What a show in store today, but also it's a lot of topics, a lot of things to talk about. Let's also now just welcome Mark. Mark, how you going? From all the way from Toowoomba.
All right, I'm whimbering up here. Hello, listeners.
Now we have today also some return guests from last year. Some of you guys might remember, and you probably listened to. Watch on Twitter. ThundaPower. So ThundaPower, g'day, welcome back.
G'day, fellas. Thanks for having us back on.
Awesome. Welcome. It's good. Looking forward to your input, ThundaPower. But tonight we have a new star on the show. Really looking forward to this guy's thoughts. Now, some of you guys that are listening would have also been part of our group, which would lead you to the pair on YouTube. You probably would have seen this young guy's stuff around the place. Video logs are wicked and awesome. I'm really enjoying his work. Top entertainment. Welcome, Anthony Alessiani. Woo! Round of applause.
Hey, boys. How are we? Matt, thank you very much for introducing me.
Excellent. Anthony, now, as it is in tradition from Rick and Craig at the Big Footy Port Adelaide podcast, when new people come on board, and generally to make sense to do this, is just for you to share your story. How are you a Port Adelaide fan? You've got a couple other questions. I've got also your favourite game, your favourite players. So we'll start with just where it all started from for you, mate. Tell us why are you wearing the Power gear today? I imagine wearing it still right now too.
Well, it all started with Dad. Ever since I was born, we've just been diehard Port fans, all the way from Magpies to the Power. So ever since he took me to the first game in 2005, I think we played Geelong.
Oh, yeah.
I was just hooked ever since. So I love him to death. So every week, cheer him on.
So 2005, so how old were you? 2004, how old were you then? Not missing the premiership?
7, I'm pretty sure. 7, yeah.
Okay, so did you see that hype around the place? It was just at 6, 7 years of age. Did you get into it a couple of years later afterwards and watch something? This is the team, they won that would have been interesting.
Well, the earliest memory I have was the 2004, obviously the final series, but the best one I can remember was I was sitting at home watching the prelim final, and I just saw my dad walk outside because he couldn't handle the pressure of the game, and he's just gone outside, and the lights are off, so we think, okay, he's run away. He doesn't want to watch anymore. And then as soon as that game ended, we were up screaming, and I just see him run around screaming, yeah, we're in the granny. So it brings back a lot of memories.
Yeah, magic. That is magic. Yeah, excellent. And do you have a favourite game, a most memorable game?
I do. It would have to be the Showdown in 2013 against the Crows. It was the Crows home game, obviously. And my friend brought me to the game because he had a couple of spare tickets. So I went along, and it ended up being one of the most magical days of my life.
Yeah, no, and what moment in that was the moment for you? Anything in particular?
Probably, obviously, has to be the Chad Wingard goal because when we were 20 points down, I turned to my friend and said, "This is game over." So I'd even given up, and he's like, "No, we're never good in the last quarter." And then next minute, we've come back and won, and seeing Chad Wingard take that mark was just...
For iTunes listeners, I'll put the in the show notes, I'll put the video we've got on here. See the Chad Wingard the goal. I've got a video of that.
What about the crazy ball bouncing Monfrey's goal?
Oh, Monfrey's goal.
That was unbelievable. I was right on the angle of where that ball bounced to come through the goals, and everyone was just, even the Crow supporters just gave up. They were like, that's it, game over. The whole stadium was shocked.
Guess where I ended up? I didn't actually comprehend that it wasn't our home game. For some reason, I missed that. So I turned up at the ground, and boy, was I pissed off. It's the last ever game at Football Park, and I can't get in. And I really tried hard looking for scalpers. I'll pay up to $100 for a ticket. Just get me in here. Didn't work. So guess what? Where I went friggin' Ramsgate, didn't I? The pleasure of rivalry. And it was wonderful.
Now, just the last question there, Anthony, is also, give us maybe just your top 3 quick players just that you've you love
of all time.
Of all time, not just this year or anything. Of all time, all your time you've seen.
Number 1 favourite of all time would have to be Warren Treadway.
Treaders, yep.
The skipper, Travis Boak, at the moment is my current favourite, and a personal favourite of mine was also Stewie Dew.
Stewie, nice, good call, excellent. Now that's good. Now you've got some good players. Well, I don't think we've seen another Warren Treadway. For a while now, even around the place in the whole comp, really. So I'd love to someone just in his leadership and his ability, especially in our club. We'd love to have another one of those, wouldn't we? Need it right now.
Absolutely.
Excellent. No, good. Well, welcome to the team. You're here every week, so welcome aboard. No, it's great. Guys, let's kick off what's been the hot topic, and listeners, we really want to get this out of the way now. Just talking to the guys, post-podcast, pre-podcast, we're just talking about, I'm basically in the process, and I've had Paul Vandenberg, who does the community programs with Indigenous programs for Port Adelaide and the community in South Australia. And beyond, I guess. He's basically just said he'd like to come on the show and be happy to chat, or if not, just do an interview. So we'll get him sometime in the near future. I imagine he's pretty busy right now. But I've left a message with him, and I know he'll get back to us shortly, and that'd be great. And so if we could even do something where we're on here, so we can ask him the questions, and he's so open, and we'd love to. Share what he's doing, and I guess it's exactly that's what he's about. This would be a perfect platform for him to share what he's doing. I mean, it may be even something on an ongoing basis if he really wants to kind of keep us informed all the time, which would be really great. So love to have that. Love to offer that to him. So listen out for that. So can we just play this 47 seconds? The title of tonight's podcast is basically the message in this video. Let's all have a little listen, and then I'll get a little opinion from all you guys about just everything to do with if you can bottle up just the whole racing thing, and then we can get on-field issues, which we all want to listen to and talk about. Thanks, guys. I'll just play this now.
It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or who you support.
Racism has no place at the footy.
Or anywhere in our community.
Together, we are united.
Against all forms of discrimination.
Let's leave the showdown on the field.
Not in the stands, outside the ground, or on social media.
Let's stand together.
And if you hear something that's offensive,
or see something that's violent,
don't stand back.
Report it and keep our oval safe for all supporters.
Whether Port, Crows, or any other fans.
Let's love the footy together.
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 Let's love the footy together. Let's love the footy together tonight, guys. So let's kick it off. Craig, in a quick, succinct way, let us know what's your thoughts and just how you feel about what's been going on post the showdown, regardless of the racism.
Well, I'm sure people on Facebook have seen exactly how I feel. I don't agree with racism. What what's happened is crap. I don't like it. However, what I'm not liking is when anything like this happens, and we've shown in this showdown that it wasn't just Port supporters that were involved in this. There were Crow supporters doing this. There was also all the fighting between the supporters. It's far just past the racism. There's a lot more issues than just this. But what really gets on my nerves is whenever anything like this does happen, it always seems to be blamed on Port Adelaide. And even when people go back to past incidents at Adelaide Oval and at Footy Park, they always try to blame it on Port Adelaide, even if Port Adelaide wasn't even in the game. I remember 2012 when Eddie Maguire said, I don't want to come to Adelaide. I don't want to come to a Port Adelaide game. They're evil, shocking. I remember one time someone threw urine on one of our coaches and everyone was like, that was a Crows game, not a Port game. And that's the kind of shit that pisses me off, is Port gets the bad rap for everything. And that's my personal feeling. Like, as I said, I don't agree with the racism. I don't like the fights. I don't like any of that shit. I just don't also like Port Adelaide always getting the blame for it as well.
Yep, I hear you there. Disgusted by it as well. I'll share my thoughts just at the end there. Mark, can I have your opinion on it and how you've seen it from being in a distance like I am as well?
Yes. Yeah, it's interesting. We discussed this a little bit before in the lead up to the show. There is always like 1, 2 or 3 in 100 who are just absolute dicks. And no matter which football team, no matter which political party, no matter where you are, there will always be people that are not comprehendy as far as being fair and reasonable with other people. And so it was always going to happen. Look, we got 60,000 members and how many fans? There will be idiots.
Yep.
and it's to be expected, and it will be in every single walk of life, no matter where you go. Get enough people, there will be ones that will be spoil it for others and all that sort of thing. My thoughts that I would like to deliver are that the media need attention, otherwise they're not interesting. So they will focus in and shine light on things in order to be able to get some popularity, views, whatever, back to them. So every day you could find all sorts of crap that goes on in pubs around the place, or footy games in country towns, or whatever. I'm saying that the media is pumping this, and so watch out for too much bullshit.
Yeah, no, good call. It's the media, it's their responsibility to make sure that it's level and balanced, and it just talks about the issues and doesn't sensationalise anything. Good call, Mark. Really good call. Hey, ThundaPower. Now, you, ThundaPower, let's just for one moment say that you aren't kind of at the games, are you, all the time? You do go to you've been to the Portress, I imagine. But we've discussed before
at the round 2 game against Fremantle.
We've discussed before, just to give everyone a heads up. You're in Northern Territory
for work. Missed the showdown, but yeah. Look, I guess for myself, I have been to probably about 15 games at Adelaide Oval. Overwhelmingly, I think most supporters do the right thing and have the right attitudes. And I think it's been pointed out before, it's 1 or 2. I guess less than probably 1% just seem to want to create trouble. It's in 2017. I think just living in Darwin, it just seems almost astonishing that there's people that will attack someone on their race. I've played a lot of footy with Indigenous people, and living in Darwin, I've got quite a lot of different cultures that blend in, and it's almost irrelevant to a degree when you live somewhere like here. So that race comes into it. I think it's if someone's a good bloke, they're a good bloke, and that's generally how life rolls. So it's very disappointing on the weekend to hear the incidents. I think it probably has been blown out by the media to some degree, although it shouldn't happen at all. I think overwhelmingly the club and both clubs probably, but particularly Port being a home game, was painted in a bad light. I thought Channel 7's little expose they did with the two people that were not affiliated to the Port Adelaide Footy Club whatsoever, that wrote some stupid troll type things on Facebook, and they made a news story out of that and basically linking them to Port Adelaide. I just thought that was gutter journalism, and as Mark touched on, a bit of sensationalism to try and get a bit of interest. And the people that obviously were low intellect and were looking to get a bit of reaction, they got it, and I think the media buying into it like they do is, it's pretty disappointing as well. That shows probably sometimes the populist type antics of the media is not a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's spot on. Anthony, you were there, so can you share your experience of the showdown? We've seen the video log that's gone up not long ago up on our Facebook group there, and I'll throw it up on Portress later on post podcast. But what's your thoughts on the behaviour of just the atmosphere and just the racism stuff?
Well, it was just the whole game in general was just so pumped up. Like the atmosphere, people around the ground, even the whole week before, it was just geared up as one of the biggest showdowns ever. And every other Port Adelaide home game, this won't happen. It never will. Personally, never experienced happen. It's always well behaved, and nothing ever comes out of it. And seems to be every time there's a showdown, it boils over. And the whole game, it was perfect atmosphere, no troubles, didn't seem to be any fights. But then once, people on the hill, the alcohol, all that stuff down there, it was just bloated. And it's just disappointing to know that, our teams, which we probably both sides love dearly, it ends up with a result that poor due to, the fans itself and not the actual game, because the actual game itself was a spectacle to behold, grand final like atmosphere, and it just gets ruined by, a few people that, aren't even true members or true believers. True. So it's just disappointing.
Yeah, pretty ordinary. I appreciate your thoughts on that. And look, it really doesn't. My thoughts are it's disgusting. I'm disgusted by racist behaviour. I've been involved in martial arts and just no one. It's just not an issue in my life, and so I wasn't growing up around bigotry and that. I just disgusted by it. I think there's no excuse these days. If you're bigoted and have a racist behaviour, there is opportunities right around. Just open your bloody eyes and you'll see that you can be educated. The information's around the place and it's insane. It's just a horrible nature and it shows a really disgusting person. And if you can't be helped out, then it's absolutely sad. It's sad it's just horrible. It got nothing to do with even the craziest thing is, and as we know, Craig and I also have some common other interests outside of AFL, and we've seen, we talk about the racism stuff overseas and the behaviours that we're seeing on an international scale about having, territorial nature and having a xenophobic nature, and I hope that more and more people just get exposed and it just becomes less tolerant. So that's my thoughts, and it's beyond Port Adelaide, it's beyond AFL, it's beyond our country. It's not an un-Australian type thing. It is just a disgusting human habit based on horror, obviously, and nothing more than indoctrination. You wouldn't no child is no baby is a bigot. So let's move on and talk about the on-field issues. Hey guys, all good?
Definitely.
One sentence. One quick sentence. All war has been caused by racism.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, absolutely. No territorial tribal nature. Horrible. Good stuff. Thanks, Mark. Time for the sweet and sours. Here we go. Let's start with sour sweets. So we want a sweet finish. It's the tone of the show. Get all the negative stuff out of the way. Let's start with our sours. On-field, any problems? Let's share with yours, Craig, first.
I must admit, I'm a little off with Aaron Young at the moment. I'm not liking his game. I know he had a bit of an injury, well, not necessarily an injury, but he had a bit of a pain scare or something in the first quarter. He had a bit of a shoulder problem, but the last 2 weeks he's not been at his best like he was in the Sydney game, and I'm just a bit concerned. I mean, last week in the Showdown, he had 5 touches for the game, no influence. The week before, it was, I think, about 10 or 12 touches with 1 goal, 3. It's like he's played one good game and then it's just tailed off, and I'm just worried that it's going to be a continuing trend.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Yeah, I guess the one thing he's done now is he's set a standard. And we know where he's going to go to, and it's a no excuse type thing, and he needs to kind of raise up to that standard. He's shown
Definitely.
it. He's shown it now. It's been exposed. Hey, I think I wonder where his role will be without Brett Eddy in the side now, and due to the game against Norwood at the Parade tomorrow night, we've kind of almost been forced to expose our side to a degree, or at least some of the decisions and who's going in and out. No Eddie in the side. Maybe that's where Youngie is going to step up a bit, but against the Giants with their height situation, I'm not sure what kind of plan we're playing at the moment with that. But
I'm not liking it.
I'm not liking it either. We'll talk a bit more about that post this sweet and sour. So, interesting one. Thanks for that one. Mark, your thoughts on what's your sours?
Okay, not being a sour-orientated person, my sour is Patrick Ryder not being in the team this week. It really does my head in big time. He is so vital in ruck. I can't believe I actually saw some, I mean, everyone's got a right to their opinions and all that sort of thing, talking about putting Paddy Ryder at centre-half forward and Lobie and ruck and all that sort of thing. What a load of rubbish. He's the best ruckman in the AFL, and his dominance and the delivery to down the throats of our midfielders is sublime. Yeah. I'm loving it so much, and to have him not in this game versus GWS with bloody Mumford and Lob, who is 207 centimetres tall.
Oh, it's expensive. Look, I was going to ask you, can I disadvantage,
so that's my sour.
Mark, it's quickly led me to asking one quick question to you. Do you think in some way, and if anyone wants to quickly chime in, just quickly give your thought on this, does Paddy Ryder, he would be apologising to his teammates, wouldn't he? This is something, almost felt like he should there's something to the fans almost, or to the club, just really silly. I mean, I hope there's no excuse for
in
that.
The moment, adrenaline in the moment. I mean, from what I've observed, and I'm sure that everyone who's listening and you guys would probably have noticed, Patrick Ryder has got an extremely good character, and the thing that really shone a light on that was him being there just before midnight, and then at midnight when he was finally allowed back after being banned for 12 months and being on the doorstep of Twitter Lane Football Club at Alberton. Wow, I think he's an incredible guy, and that we've all done crazy, stupid things, and you can imagine. Well, I'm not condoning violence in any way, shape, or form, but that if somebody's been up here all game and everything like that, and you sort of lose it, well, you should be able to be forgiven.
Yeah. Hi. Just quickly, we're going to be having a long show if we're going to be reading all the chats tonight. I haven't gone on there, guys. I haven't been on the chat and Spreaker chat tonight at all. I've been just busy doing some other things while listening and just setting up some stuff with the show. So No, we won't be reading everything tonight. We've got a full show, full load of people, but share your thoughts on there. People will be chatting amongst each other, and if there's something worthy, appropriate, I'll certainly, I myself, I think Craig and myself are on there, so we'll jump in and share what we think, but it won't be as much as we normally do. Thanks, Ryan. Welcome to the show, though, Ryan, and I hope you're enjoying listening.
I would like to say, though, on the rider thing, how would you guys feel if someone came up and gave you a bit of a tap in the nether regions, as it would be?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because that's what has been said to have happened, that Riley Knight sort of gave Ryder maybe a bit of an accidental touch, and yeah, that's maybe what led to Ryder losing his cool a little bit.
Yeah.
He was rugby league style. Rugby league style.
Not up to date. Okay. Oh, boy. Well, nah, I don't know what to say to that. Let's move on. Sours Thunder?
Well, it leads into the Paddy Ryder brain explosion, I guess,
sure.
Which I agree with Mark was really disappointed. Really disappointing that that happened, especially late in the game. And Paddy's been playing on the edge this year. Just he's got something to prove after that year off. You can just see his appetite and hunger around the footy. Once it goes to ground, he's doing really well in the air, but when it goes to ground, it's his presence as well. With his tackling and chasing has just been unbelievable. So to have him out brings me to my sour of the week is Matty Loeb. Loeb, he had a big chance this week to give himself and maybe resurrect his career and put himself in the mix in our best 22. He's gone down with a slight hamstring injury. We may not see him again, and it was a huge opportunity. We really needed him against Mumford this week, and that was the corresponding game in round last year where we were kicked off the park by GWS, and Mumford gave Lobie a real hiding that day, and it would have been a great opportunity for Lobie to put that one to bed. So that's my sour, that Lobie's body hasn't been able to get up and give him that opportunity when we really needed him.
Good call. Yeah, no, he was going to be one of mine actually, and but I've got a couple other little things up my sleeve. So yeah, no, that's a good call. It's frustrating. Yeah. Yep. So no, Matty, sure enough, here's his opportunity. We're not to know whether he was not going to be picked because he was just not going to be picked, or we're not to know that if he was to be picked, he's just done an injury and he just can't take a break. Anthony, your sour for the week.
My sour for the week would have to be Justin Westhoff. I think his form starting this year has been quite poor. I know he's sort of a roamer now more than a forward, but I think he just looks a bit lost on the field. And to be honest, I think he's probably a little bit better playing that high half forward, roaming towards the backline when we need him. But I think this week he needs to have a big week against the Giants. Otherwise, Ken has to really look at his form and his situation.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, any other people's thoughts on that?
Well, will Westhoff be playing a roaming role this week, or are they going to play him as a forward? Because they've dropped Brett Eddy and we're down a ruckman, so I could see Westhoff being pretty much main forward this week if that's the route Ken's looking at going.
Yeah, Mark, you're right. You're right, Craig. Mark, your thoughts there because
no one is off bounds, and including Justin, who I have got a lot of time for. Look what happened with Fremantle. They dropped six big players, and they got up and absolutely killed.
Well, I'm glad you guys didn't take my other one that was one of my golden ones. As I cannot believe Brett Eddy's not playing for the Power. He's playing for the Magpies. It's just, I don't understand that. I hope we're playing funny buggers or something. You guys, please. Oh, Brett, I love Brett. I'm really a big fan. So don't understand it. I hope that all is revealed over the weekend, or especially on. Yeah, we see the Powers line up and Ken knows what he's doing. So that's my sour for the week. I feel for Brett that he shouldn't be playing against Norwood. He should be playing against the Giants.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm really surprised about that one. All right, guys. Yeah. Well, the showdown. Where do we lose it? Let's start with Craig again. Where do we lose it? What's your thoughts? And guys, let's bit of flow with this. When Craig has his thoughts on it, I'd like you guys chime in and I'll help out and try to direct the conversation. But if you got someone on it to share about it, where do we lose it? 17 points. What's the gloss that we're missing there? Start with you, Craig.
Well, there's two things for me. I might start with the annoyance one first that most people probably think, it's an excuse or whatever, but right near the end of the game in that fourth quarter when Chad Wingard was getting ridden like a bloody horse and umpire put the whistle away, not going to give you a free kick, and I'm like, that cost us 12 points. That could have been a massive game changer for us in that game, and the umpire decided to put the whistle away, and I was livid with that. But the other thing is, with that, we also gave it up towards the end of the second, and for a good majority of third, it just seemed like our midfield, everything, we just seemed to look like we reverted back to last year's efforts in the middle and trying to get it forward. It was like we stopped trying to hit targets and it was just long bomb, hope we hit something. And I don't know what it was, if the Crows just put too much pressure on our players. But yeah, it was just, we just seemed to revert back to last year's style of play and we really just fell into a heap.
Yep. I'll just kick off. Mark, your thoughts on that? I couldn't agree more.
Lessons are learned through playing usually. That was very painful on the weekend, and I have no doubt that what we did wrong will be looked over very much with a lot of scrutiny. We have got an excellent football department. I've never been more confident in our coaches and what they're capable of doing with our players and the mindsets and the mindfulness that they've actually been doing to where they're at. And to lose by 17 points, but can I swear on this show?
Yeah, of course.
We fucked up.
Yeah, we did.
And we let it slip and we didn't play 4 quarters.
Yeah,
we played 8 quarters in a row and we let 1.5 quarters slip. That was enough to lose it.
Blew it.
And to be up for 4 quarters every game is what makes premierships.
Yep, no, spot on. ThundaPower, your thoughts on that as well?
Oh, look, I certainly agree with the sentiment that we did starting really well. We backed ourselves. We were pretty clean with the footy and a lot of hard run. We were able to break that Crows web that they have. I think in the second and third quarters is definitely where we lost the game. But in all reality, it was a huge lesson for our boys. I think under that level of pressure, clearly it was above what we've seen that we played against Sydney and Fremantle. And Adelaide are probably the form team of the comp. So at the moment it's in close. It's you have to be very clean, and I think they just put us under pressure that forced mistakes. I think you're right, there were glimpses of us going back to that little bit of uncertainty and going within ourselves a little bit in that second and third quarter. But what we're seeing, if there's one part to like about it, that we didn't drop our heads at all. And I think some of our sort of newer and younger players in different roles, even guys like Carl Lehman, Pepper Power in there as well.
Power Pepper.
Pollock looks a lot more confident. We're just showing a lot more resolve. I think there's a different level of resilience to us this year. But Adelaide at the moment, I don't think they're going to lose too many games this year with how they're going and how they're playing at the moment. So it was a really good test for us. We just weren't quite up to it on the weekend, but there's some signs there that suggest that that we can keep improving like I expect that we will, and come finals or later in the year, I'd expect us to be able to give them a hell of a shake then. And,
I'm pretty confident on that.
Done, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in that, actually, to be honest. I feel like it was just a couple of moments. If you guys, I won't play it, of course, with the time permitting, but have you guys heard Brendan Lade's interview? Craig, you heard Brendan Lade's presser?
No, I haven't, actually. I've
Mark?
not had the chance.
Yes, I did.
Anthony?
And look, can I?
Sorry, sorry, Mark.
I'm just so blessed we are to have Brendan Lade.
Oh, spot on.
The following back then. Oh,
he's a gem.
Goodness gracious.
He's a gem.
Me. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for organising this. He will be an enduring, motivating, very instrumental in helping players, and I think he understands enough and has got good communication skills to be able to pass it across to the players and stuff like that. We're seeing the results of having him in there, and regardless of dare I say Ilias, the criticism about the midfield.
I love your little thing with him. It's funny.
Dare I say, Brendan Lade, complementary with our midfield coach, will be a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Anthony, just your opinions there on just where we missed it?
Well, there was probably a moment in every quarter where we had a chance to break the game. Probably the first quarter where we missed a lot of opportunities to put a good, decent lead on.
Mm-hmm.
And the other, probably the most notable chance was Sam Gray in the last quarter where he hit the post from pretty much on the line I think it was to level us up with the Crows. So it's just
the moments.
One of those moments.
Hey, Thunder, sorry, I might have cut you off there when we were discussing, we led to something else. Did you have anything else in your thoughts just about where our direction is? Just like you were just saying that we'll get them back next time?
Yeah, I'm just pretty confident from what we saw on the weekend. I think we can hold our heads up high. It's disappointing to swallow a Showdown defeat, but I think we've got to, from where we've been the last couple of years, I think that we, as members and supporters and people that love the club, I think we can see that there is a different resolve about this group at the moment than what we've seen in the last couple of years. And they threw everything at Adelaide, though Adelaide were just structurally, I think, a bit too good in the way that they put pressure on us, and we weren't able to cope with that pressure on the weekend for long enough. But we were able to break it at times too. And if you look at, Hawthorn the week before started well against Adelaide, and they pretty well got blown off the park and shut down. So we certainly threw everything at Adelaide, and I think they'll win. They dominated GWS in round one. They are at the moment the form team of the comp, so we're not that far off, and we're not that far off. And I just think we're going to. There's a fair bit of improvement in this group, where there's quite a number of players that have come into our best 22 that add something. And once we gel, and with that same level of effort that we're seeing this year, I just think we could go a long way. There's some really good signs to me.
Yeah, interesting. I'll just share on Saturday night I was with a mate of mine that's a Crows fan, so we enjoyed the game together. One kid was down at the birthday party down the road with his kid, and so we had the house to ourselves, cranked up the put down the TV, listened to the local call, and it was awesome. It was a shame we lost. He's a good bloke. He was harmless as a Crows fan. He's pretty good. He kind of doesn't care, but he loves the club. But he's just not into the aggressive, Port hates kind of stuff. I don't know. He's a good guy, and he's one of the good ones. And I tell you what, it was just interesting. I just felt that we were well. It'll test us this week. How we cope from the Showdown is really going to be said in the next first 10 or 15 minutes of the of the Giants game. You know, just really where we are and where our head's at, and just how hungry we are just to kind of put that whole week behind us, and it's going to be interesting. So a lot determines that, and it gives us the. It's like I wrote in some of my social media stuff. We've got such an exciting year ahead. We're 2-1, we're 4 on the ladder. Our percentage is the best out of all the other teams in the comp. It is just insane to let yourself just look at the old navel gazing and look down locally at the Crows and get carried away with them. So what? 17 points, not far away. They are a very, very good side, unfortunately. They are going to be there at the end of the season at the tippy point. Let's be there as well. And it's just interesting how... that I hope the boys are just focusing on just Giants and moving on. Let's just talk about the sweets and create. They're kind of a blending of the great moments of the game, something that really just gives you that what's the word, impetus, or just that excitement injection to know that we can just see that again in the coming games, not just against the Giants. Nothing, we don't want to see just once again just a one-off and then we drop off like we did with those first 5 games last year, was it, or the year before? The first 5 games. West Coast got us on the 6th. So, guys, give us your sweets and just the excitement. Can you add with that just some maybe another moment that you had in the game that was you'd like to see more on? Let's start with you, Craig.
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily a moment in the game, but I am loving the work of Ollie Wines at the moment. He has just been on fire so far this year. He hasn't really put a foot wrong. He's getting up there in the disposals. He's currently leading the coaches award. He is just, I think giving him the vice captaincy has given him just that push to push himself even harder, even better. And I would not be surprised if 2018 Ollie Wines is the captain of the Port Adelaide Football Club. I think he is just going from stride to stride, and I'm loving it. Keep up the good work, Ollie. We are all behind you.
Such a good call. Ollie, I love him. Coaches votes he's number 1 on top, Coach Association. So that's just sensational. I'm proud of him. Mark, what's yours, mate?
My sweet is I don't actually have a sweet. I've
cool.
got a sour, but I don't have a sweet this week. If you lose a showdown, it's like bugger that. And for a very positive person, I'm also a very honest person, and it devastated us. And I think we're going to learn a lot of really good things. So my sweet will be, there will be lessons from this.
Yeah, good point. That's just sweet. Go love it. We're a side that really looks like we can be, just soaking up as much education, and we look like we really learnt a lot on the pre-season, didn't we, Thunder? Do you see how we can really see how there's a sign in our side that just wants to, just be improving all the time?
Definitely. I think this group has been like what they achieved in 2014, and we all know coming within a kick of a grand final, and we've seen 2 years of disappointment since then. There's some pretty good footballers and a lot of talent in our side, which I've believed in, and we all have in the last couple of years, that we through a lot of different reasons, but injury, but it also appeared there's just a different attitude this year, and I think a few of our players have probably been told some home truths as to their reputation and potential that we showed in 2014 means nothing unless you come out there with that ruthless attitude every week, and where that's what we're seeing. My Ollie Wines was also going to be my
awesome.
sweet of the week.
Own it as well,
that
mate.
one's been stolen, but I think one great thing, Ollie's on fire, and he's just playing like a raging bull. He's that big-bodied inside midfielder that we lacked. He wasn't at his best last year, and got a bit of a rev up apparently about round 16 last year, which was documented by Kenny Hinkley, or Ollie came out during last week, and his form and the way he's playing is unbelievable. But my sweet is collectively as a midfield as to what we've seen from Brad Ebert, Travis Boak, obviously the captain, and having Sam Powell-Pepper in there as well. The tackles on the weekend between Ebert, Robbie Gray, Ollie Wines and Boak was just over 30 tackles between them, which I thought was a huge effort. Like, it just shows that there's that real appetite to do the hard work in close, and having a big couple of big bodies in there like Ollie Wines and Pepper as our inside midfielders. It's allowing Ebert and Robbie Gray and Boak to play that outside role, which they weren't able to probably do last year, and we're seeing the benefits of it.
Yeah, good call. Good call. Anthony, your suite, your moments, share it. You take the floor here, mate, because we would love to hear a bit more about, you're at the ground, and so give us your suites of the several suites of your weekend.
Well, I've got a few.
Go for it. Take the floor.
I'll keep it short and sweet. I'll second the Ollie Wines one. I think at this stage, going on the first 3 games, he should be probably on 7 Brownlow votes. So he could be a possibility for the Brownlow if his form keeps up and the team keeps playing well.
What are the odds at the moment?
Yeah, I know. I was looking at that. I think he was paying $21 at the beginning of the week, and I reckon he might have shortened a bit more. So if you got a bit of leftover cash, get on him. Yeah. The other suite, I think, probably was, now it's probably it's more off-field, but Brodie Traeger tossing the coin was probably one of my highlights of the night. That was just so special to watch, and to see the crowd applaud him when he was tossing the coin was just phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think, what else is there? What's some other suites? There's, thanks for your comment, Mark. Any other suites there, Anthony?
Probably another one was Never Tear Us Apart as well. That was
how good was
nearly
that?
brought a tear to my eye, to be honest. It was just so loud.
You lucky buggers. You lucky buggers.
Totally lucky.
I really love that moment every home game and missing that.
So true.
The way the crowd was built up throughout the game on Saturday night was just amazing, and the way everyone got into it, it was like the song wasn't even playing and we're just singing it on our own.
Wow. Do you think they turned the volume down a bit?
Which was fantastic. No, they kept it up, but it was just the crowd was louder.
Wow. It definitely was.
Mark, Craig, you enjoyed that? You want to chime in with Anthony here?
I did.
Wow.
Although, Matt, did you enjoy the other thing I did for you that night?
Yeah, man, that was sensational. I got to experience the boys coming out in the ground, thanks to Craig kind of putting up the video of that as well. So,
just a little bit of a FaceTime.
Yeah, thank you for that. That was really that was good, mate. I might do that a bit more often now. Thank you. That was nice timing. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Oh no, I was saying more random moments captured by some video that's pumped back onto the Portress, I think is a wonderful thing. And I think we ought to encourage the people who are listening to this and also who are in our fold, members of the Portress, to contribute and let us know what you're thinking, because it's exciting. And if you're excited, you've got something to share, do it.
Now, my suite was Ollie, so I'm going to go with another suite that's a little on the off-centre, but it's just not Keith Thomas and the Port Adelaide Footy Club's response the last couple of days has been awesome. It's expected, but it's also been just the words and the way they just really come across is brilliant. The way they kind of come across to the media, and the media can just carry on and think that we're maybe saying silly buggers about whatever. And I just think the composure of KT in particular, I'm going to give my suite to that gentleman in particular, is sensational. He's on the media. He's gone speaking to the guys at AA. Before we move on to the Giants and just talk a bit about the Magpies, does any of you guys want to chime in on KT and your thoughts on that?
Look, KT has been a revelation for this club. As a CEO, he is an incredible leader that is visionary, but he's actually puts the time into and is very clear with his communication out there to involve everybody. He is a champion. I'm so glad. And for somebody who absolutely finds Norwood repulsive, he's come from that mob, and I'll tell you what, there's a shining light in every blob of shit.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah. KT, I first got to meet him in 2012, and we were on the ropes. It happened to be at the club the day that Travis spoke. Was about to have 3 Geelong representatives, including the coach, fly over. It was later that afternoon, and I was at the club, and I was with my family, and Keith Thomas came over and actually had a chat to my 2 daughters, who were lifelong members from the week they were born, basically, and he came over, the CEO of the club, and spoke to myself and the family that were down from the NT, and spent 5 minutes talking to us, and I just thought this guy is quite incredible. He was a busy man, and the club itself was under a lot of pressure, and to me that just spoke volumes as to the type of person that he was, and what he's done, I guess, since then for our club, coming from that period in 2012 where we were really financially in dire straits, and our performance on the field was almost catastrophic. He's played, I think, the prime role in steering us through that troubled waters and building a team, not only on the field, like with the football department, but also in the boardroom at the club that has set us up for the success and being a viable club financially that we're seeing under David Koch, and David Koch, probably the most prominent in the media, but make no mistake, I think Keith Thomas, the work that he does behind the scenes, you notice he comes out when there's a difficult issue to confront. That's when you'll hear from Keith Thomas. He leads from the front. He's just been couldn't talk highly enough of him from what he's done for our football club.
Anthony, Craig, you guys, anyone, you guys want to chime in with your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, I think Keith Thomas is, single-handedly dragged us out from the gutter and put us back on the map, along with Koshy too.
Yeah.
But Keith Thomas's hard work behind the scenes is just sometimes goes unrecognised, and he deserves more credit than what he gets.
Absolutely. Good call.
Craig? I think you're right there, mate. I think Keith seems to be the way that he is. He often hides in the background when there's good news, and he'll allow and put forward other members of the club up front to share that good news. And when there is difficulties and news that's not good, that's when you'll hear from KT, and I think that spells volumes about a leader, the type of leader and man that he is. We're pretty lucky to have him as our CEO.
Craig?
We are blessed.
We'll get you there, Craig. Go for it, Mike.
Yes. Okay. Look, what is the ultimate destination as to where you want to go as a football club? And all that sort of thing. We're starting to see that obviously it's winning grand finals, and we've got that kind of quality of leadership, and the team is gelling together. We are on the path towards that destination.
You would have met him a few. You would have met him a few times.
You don't know where you're going to go. A ship can go in all sorts of different directions. You got to know your destination.
You would have met him a few times, Craig.
KT?
Yep.
No.
No, haven't met him yet. No,
I haven't really had a chance to meet KT. Be nice to meet him, but there's not much more I can say than what everyone else has already said. He is just that. He seems like a genuine person. He's
top leader.
Loads for this club, especially coming in when he did, when we were such a basket case between him and Koshy, just coming in and just completely doing a 180 with the club, and as quickly as they've done it as well was just amazing.
No, it's brilliant work. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the sweets. That's the top moments of the week. We look forward. We really take the leaf and make sure everyone, if you haven't heard Brendan Lade's presser from Monday, please do. Please listen to it because, you get a real feel of the attitude from the inner sanctum and how they're going. But selection. So I want everyone's thoughts and your final thoughts on selections. And can you also just give opinion everyone will have a little go on just sharing their thoughts on the Maggies. I'm a bit concerned. How do you feel about the lineup in the last 15, probably 20 minutes? I've posted up the teams for this week for the Magpies, so we can see the Lobies out. Brett Eddy's playing. What's our thoughts on all this and the lineup, the direction of the club for this week? We'll kick off with you, Craig, and your final thoughts on just what's happening. Your predictions for this week's games. Are we going to beat Norwood and the Giants?
Well, I have a feeling we could beat Norwood, but as for the Giants, I'm a bit sceptical, especially with what looks like the changes are going to be. Obviously we don't know. That's tomorrow night when we actually do see the changes, but we know so far that Pittard is in. Bright is out.
Yep.
Lobie's not playing at all because he's injured with a hamstring.
Cracker's not in.
Brett Eddy's playing for the Magpies. I'm not liking this. That's going to leave us very short, I think, especially against a team like the Giants.
Cool.
We're going to only have our two top defenders in Cleary and Jonas. We're going to have two forwards in Dixon and Westhoff.
Yep.
And Jacko's going to be the ruckman. I'm thinking we're way too short. I would have liked to have either seen Logan Austin come in defence, which would at least strengthen our defence a little bit, and that would free up. I would have even been happy to see. I didn't want Brett Eddy to come out. Obviously, he would have kept our structure up forward sitting quite well, which opens Westhoff to do his wing role and go that loose man in defence. It seems we've gone very short because there's another name that's not been named in the Magpies side this week.
Yes.
Who was an emergency and the travelling emergency for us last week, who's probably going to play this week. Now, I don't know if I'm happy with him coming back in like this, and that is, as you said, Matthew White.
Yeah, Matthew White.
I don't know if he's up to playing AFL. He's not. I don't think he played in the JTL series.
Yeah.
No,
he didn't. No, he played one game.
He played one game, and I think he may have had a bit of an injury. Then he's played a couple of games for the Magpies, trial games, but he wasn't mentioned. There was no hype around him, and personally, if they were going to bring in anyone, I would have preferred to see Joe Atley come in and play because he's got that bit of a bigger body and has that speed as well. Would have preferred Atley over White, but I'm really not keen about this week, to be quite honest with you.
So you're tipping Norwood and you're tipping the Giants?
No, I'm not tipping Norwood.
Oh, sorry. So you're tipping
Port.
The Maggies. My apologies, I made a mistake. The Maggies.
Have you noticed the team structure for the Magpies game though, and where certain players have been placed on the field?
Eddie Reynolds in the guts in the forward line. We've got Howard and Austin in our back line.
Howard in the back line.
Yeah.
Why?
Good.
You like it, Mark?
He's a key ruck.
No, I don't. No, I would say that it's good that we're playing Norwood.
Oh, right.
I didn't say good that Howard playing in the back line.
Sorry.
Are we playing at Alberton or the Parade?
Parade.
My ignorance.
So, Craig, Craig, just quickly, we'll just get a bit of a wrap up on just what your thoughts are for that lineup. Sorry, you don't like Howard in the back line?
He's not a defender. He is one of our key forwards and a forward ruck. Why are we playing him as a defender, and especially a centre-half back? It doesn't make any sense. Have we really screwed up with our recruiting? Because we've got our two. We brought in Cleary and Austin last year.
Yeah, hold on. And Mark wants you asked a question there, Craig. Marcus wants to answer something there,
sorry.
mate. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, sorry. Is it fake news?
Fake news.
Is Is it a false flag?
Maybe our team. Yeah.
Confuse the ones who wear the stupid Norwood.
Maybe we're doing that.
Legs.
Let's hope we're doing that, Craig.
That is perhaps true, but what I'm actually trying to get at with looking at this lineup, have we now sort of gone too forward heavy with the way we've tried to structure our team up, and with our second side now, we've got Frampton, Eddie, Marshall, and when Lobie's playing, so Frampton, Eddie, Marshall, Reynolds he's a tall forward, and Lobie. Have we gone too tall heavy up forward?
Thunder, your thoughts on that question? Have we gone too heavy up forward? Just want to get some of the other guys to chime in.
It definitely appears that way. I haven't actually seen the Magpies side out.
Reynolds, Palmer, Marshall, Snelling, Frampton, and Reynolds, Marshall, Reynolds, and Palmer in the half forward line. Frampton, Snelling, and Eddie in the forward line. Eddie being in the full forward.
I'm with you. I would have liked to have seen Eddie get another run, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is a late withdrawal from that Magpie side and is on his way to Sydney.
Now, I just noticed Frampton's named twice, by the way, so I'm not sure if Frampton's in the middle as a ruck, so that might be someone else. I don't know who else is meant to be there. There's two Framptons, so...
Yeah, interesting.
I think Sharrod's not listed on the field or anything.
No, Sharrod's there in the midfield with Archie and Atlee and Frampton.
Sorry, he is.
Yeah.
So, not sure who that is.
It's interesting. Maybe Matt White.
I really like what I've seen from the highlights. Being starved in Queensland and unable to be able to go to Alberton. Aidan Johnson, he's been marvellous. I see he's named in the emergencies or the whatever, but from what I saw of him, he's a revelation.
Thanks for mentioning that, Mark, because what I'll be doing is the club's not doing any. I didn't see them do an all the goals or a Port Adelaide Maggies highlights, and don't know if there will be. So I'm just grabbing from the SANFL and essentially cutting up just all our highlights and from the Maggies each week. I'll be doing that. So spread the word to all our Port Magpies fans who Power fans that are really are following both teams essentially.
Well, Matty, there is I will say there is a highlights reel on the Port Adelaide.
Cool.
It's a Port Adelaide YouTube page for the Maggies Tigers game.
Oh, cool. Can you shoot me the link on that? That'd be good to know.
Can do.
Because I did something up, but I was only seeing it from the SANFL. Anthony, been a bit quiet there. Your thoughts on... We'll get back to you in a minute there, Thunder. Just get Anthony just to chime in on some of the stuff we're talking about what you want to see on the weekend, where you see the ins and outs, and share your thoughts on what you've seen in regards to lineups.
Well, it'll be interesting to see because I actually like the idea of Matt White coming in, giving us a bit of pace. I think we lacked that a bit with only Impey on one side. But, I have to agree. We're way too short against the Giants, especially with them as seeing Stevie J getting
Patton's
left
coming
out
in.
of the team and Patton's coming in, so that will be that's another interesting height disadvantage, especially with only Jonas and Cleary down back as well. But, it's tough. I mean, and in the weather's, looking at the weather, it looks perfect for footy, so no rain expected. So that's another big disadvantage with having a short team.
You're pretty confident about winning tomorrow night for the boys and getting them the first W for the Maggies?
I think so. I think with the form of Archie, I think Eddie will prove himself back in, what he has done over the last couple of years in the SANFL. It looks like to be in his natural habitat. So I think they should get over the line at the parade.
Fingers crossed the Bays just got us on the hop and it's nothing to be worried about long term.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep, and also just wanted to say, so you're tipping the Maggies, but you're tipping the Giants, are you? You reckon Port can still find a way to scratch out a win?
I still think the Power will get up in Canberra.
Yeah, I'm confident we'll win, actually.
I think we might catch the Giants on the flip side a bit. I think we've got the talent to do so, and the way we played against the Crows, even though we lost, was a good sign to push the Giants this weekend.
So Anthony, what do you want? What do we need to do to win though? What's the thing that it's the pace you were saying? Do you reckon we can outrun them and just expose them there?
Yeah, with the pace we have, and our kicking looks to be way, way better than what we did last year against them in both games. I think we should be able to execute that. And I think in a high-scoring affair, we'll just get over the line.
Excellent. Good call. Thunder?
I'm going to go the Maggies to get over Norwood by 11 points. And I think in the Giants game, the AFL was going to be pretty tough. It was probably the toughest assignment in football is to beat the Giants away. I just think the midfield battle will be crucial for us, like with Josh Kelly, Callum Ward, Dylan Shill and Scully, and you've also got the quality of like Toby Green that runs through there as well.
Yeah.
It's a good test for our midfield. We got beaten up on the outside with their run last year when we lost by 86 points. So that was probably as bad as we could go in that game last year. It was probably our worst performance for the entire year. And I was thinking our guys will have a point to prove. I reckon our midfield, with our hardness now, can probably I just think that we might be able to get over them in that area, and that could set us up for a win by maybe 3 points, I'm going.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm tipping Giants. My thoughts are that what I want to see is for us to kind of win and snag the win is just to stick with them. Just to we were sticking with the Crows last week for a long period of time, but we're exposing some of those areas just near the later in the game, and hopefully we can really learn from that. And hopefully the stings from the losses there for the boys, and they can, as Brendan Lade says, get away to Canberra as a group with a point to prove and to really just get back on the positive. I really feel like that we can actually just stick with them, and I don't think, the Giants are going to take us lightly, but there is some injuries. They're a little bit wounded at the moment, so we can really expose that, but we really do need to kind of not rely, just even their worst is pretty good, so we really need to stick with them. And I think the run, I like the idea of the run. Pittard back is a good sign as well. Hopefully we can find that we can, with run we can expose or open them up a little bit and not have the height being a factor as such. Mark, your thoughts just on how we can win? What do we need to do to get over the line with the Giants? You tip the Maggies as well, as you said.
The Maggies are for me no worries. We'll beat Norwood.
Yep.
I'm very concerned about our centre clearances and our lack of height in the ruck, and Mumford and Lob against our depleted ruck. So therefore, we're going to be on catch up.
Yep.
I'll never tip against Port because that's my religion. and however, I would say it is being stretched to the extremities. Loss of centre clearances can damage you. We've got enough firepower there. I hope we win. That's all I can say.
Excellent.
Definitely Magpies versus Norwood. Yeah, go cane those bloody Redlegs.
Craig, I'm going to leave you, just because it's you and me often in this show. We're going to have Anthony as a regular. I'm going to leave you to have the final say on things. Before we just go, Anthony, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Thanks very much for you being on the show, mate. Guys, I'll just stick around till we all wrap up and we can just quickly say goodbye for post-match, post-podcast. So stick around, please. But I want to say thank you very much for your input tonight and tonight's show. Did you have anything else you wanted to finish off and share? Maybe promote your page and if you're on Twitter at all as well. Did you want to just kind of throw some of your social media things out there?
Yeah, no, I'd just like to thank you all for letting me on. It's great to join, and I really appreciate. I can't believe how quickly it's grown over the last 4 or 5 weeks or so. But yeah, if you're on Twitter,
thanks.
Just my full name on.
Done well.
You go on. Sorry.
Go for it.
Yeah, just on Twitter if you want to follow. Usually tweet during the game, so at Anthony Aliciani, and yeah, I upload regularly each week. Just different things on the pair on YouTube. So check that out as well.
Yeah, I'll put up the on our show notes through the links there. Your links as well. Okay, so excellent. Yeah. Thanks very much. And Thunder, good to have you on. You'll be on from time to time.
Yeah, thanks for having us back, boys.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
It's been a while.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it's I really your perspective and your knowledge on the game is really good there, mate. So it's let's hope we see some of that stuff, especially just saying some of the inside work from the boys in the midfield.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Mark, thanks, mate. Appreciate your input. It is difficult up here in Queensland, but we're not far to go, mate. So we got the Brizzy game. It's around the corner.
Looking forward to it big time. Yep.
Can't wait. Thanks for your input today. It's been great. Craig, champion, buddy. Just can we get over the line? Can we knock off these Giants? How are we going to do it, brother? I want to hear from you. We all want to hear. We're all waiting for you. You've got the magic touch. Tell us what we're going to be seeing on the weekend. It's going to get us over the line.
Well, for starters, we're not going to win ruck. I can tell you that for a fact. Mumford's just going to be too strong against Jacko.
He's another midfielder.
That's what I'm hoping for is Jacko.
Exactly.
But then again, when we had Jacko on his own against the Giants last year here in Adelaide, it didn't work. Then Montford just seemed to have figured out his game style. So I am concerned about that, but that could be one thing is Jacko being that extra midfielder for us getting the ball out.
Sure.
As well, having Power Pepper and Wines doing what they do, trying to get the clearances, try and get up forward, but then it's going to have, well, I think we're going to have to more rely on our small forwards to really step their game up. Chad Wingard's going to need to have a much better game than he did last week. Aaron Young, if he plays,
just dawned on me. Need. Hey, Craig, just dawned on me. Need is the name there. It's not on there. Maybe Needy's coming in.
Okay.
Okay, so you put the 3 defenders all on Dixon, and then the Crummers and Needy's there, and he just cleans up and has a big game against the old side.
That could be the case, though. If I was picking out of between our best players last week in the Tigers game, I would have picked Archie over Need as a forward.
Interesting.
But hopefully, if they want to play Jake Need, then let's see how we go with him. And
your margin?
But we're going to rely on our. If Port do win, I think it'll be a close one. Maybe 10 points for Port if they get up. Otherwise, the Giants probably beat us by about 20 odd. But we're going to have to rely a lot on our small forwards, and I don't know what the hell we're going to do in defence.
Well, we'll see. It'd be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to selection. I look forward to chatting with all you guys online over the next couple of days and the weekend, and it all unfolds. Hey, again, guys, thank you so much. It's been a big show where we've all kind of wanted to share the floor at different times, but I think it's been terrific. It's been a great show. I think it's gone really smoothly, and everyone's kind of got vented a little bit, shared, and are moving on and looking forward to us knocking off the Giants. And I'm not sure if any of you guys don't go on the parade tomorrow, but for those listening, if you are, cheer loudly and hit a dead leg for. I mean, don't hit a dead leg, but just put up with those dead legs.
Be careful.
Be careful. I should warn Timmy Jennifer not to get in a fight or something.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
How many years is it since we've won at the parade?
Good question, Mark. It's been a while. Maybe Brian Benke. Brian Benke. his goal last... No, it wouldn't have been that long. I reckon it would have been about probably 4, 5, 6 years. It would have been a long time. We always played the round one game out there and got spanked. Even it doesn't matter how good we were. Even in 2000.
I was there with you. Yeah, I remember that one.
I remember some of our... Yeah. Oh, guys, hey, again...
Just before we go,
sure.
sorry, there was one other thing we did want to mention.
Yes, please. Yes, of course.
And that was... earlier this week it was revealed that a former Port Adelaide Magpies player, Darren McKay, had passed away. We don't know the circumstances or anything like that, so we can't actually comment on it. However, we just, at the Portress podcast, did want to say our condolences to his family. He played for Port Adelaide from 1990 to 1998. I believe he just missed out on our 1997 grand final. I think he may have played in the 98. But he was a good player. He wasn't banging on the door to make AFL or anything like that. He was just a good SANFL player during the mid-90s. So he was around for some of our really good early 90s stuff. And I just wanted to say, from the Portress podcast, we wanted to send our condolences to his family. I believe he was only 46 years old, so
so young.
Wanted to say that.
Thanks for sharing that, Craig. I backed that up, and from the Portress podcast, wow, very, very sad, especially when he's so young and one of our own, the Port Adelaide family. Thunder, you were mentioning the pre-podcast a bit about him. You had some. You knew who he was, or is that correct?
Yeah, I remember him playing in the number 6 Guernsey. He had flowing blonde hair, almost at one stage looked a little bit Greg Anderson-like.
Right, that's bring me back now.
And he was just a very reliable, hard working player.
Yeah.
And he played obviously through a great patch of our Magpie history there in the 90s. So it's a pretty sad occasion when one of our Magpie past great players and one of our really good players there during that period. It's
I'll tell you what, it would have been a time in the 90s when if you were really just a decent player, or even a good player, you had to be a great player for the Maggies to stand out. I mean, it was littered with just so much talent.
Yeah, I think he's obviously a very loyal player too. That he sort of was in probably that group that was not guaranteed a game during those years every week.
Yeah.
So he could have probably gone and played for another club and played a lot more league footy. But he certainly was a loyal Magpie player and certainly did us proud whenever he wore the black and white. He always put his body on the line. I remember that, and that about him. He was just a reliable, no frills type player.
Well, thanks for that, guys. Rest in peace, Darren McKay, and let's hope it's from this point onwards, it's a real positive rest of the week. It starts straight away tomorrow night. Port Adelaide are playing Nord at the Parade Thursday night, and then we've got the twilight game in Canberra on Saturday afternoon. Thanks again, guys.
And Ryan, thank you. It was 2007 was the last time we won at the Parade. Thank you, Ryan Pillar.
Thank you, Ryan. Still listening there? Thank you. That's great.
It's about time.
There you go.
10 years on. Yeah, we're due.
There you go. We're well and truly due. 10 years. Wow.
Go the Maggies.
All right, now, go the Maggies. And Craig.
Go the Power.
There it is.